Senate pushback on President Trump's pick to be the next Attorney General.
Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche faced questions from skeptical senators in his confirmation hearing. Blanche was asked about a fund that would compensate allies of President Trump and a tax immunity deal for the president.
There is no weaponization fund. The weaponization fund is dead. It's not moving forward.
Texas Republican John Cornyn is skeptical.
Just to be clear, the President of the United States, who is a plaintiff in this lawsuit, has not agreed in writing to delete the weaponization fund, and there's no guarantee.
There are 11 Republicans and 10 Democrats on the Senate Judiciary Committee. If even one Republican on that committee votes no on Blanche, the nomination would be rejected. Ed Donahue, Washington.
The president is announcing new investments in America's defense industry. Willie Nelson reports.
President Trump announced a major investment in the nation's defense industrial base at a Defense and Innovation Summit in Pennsylvania.
This afternoon, we're announcing nearly $10 billion of new investments in our defense industrial base right here in the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And these investments will create more than 4,000 jobs. Pennsylvania workers will build the ships, submarines, trucks, weapons, and industries.
The announcement comes as the administration continues pushing to expand U.S. defense manufacturing. Willie Nelson, the White House.
Rescuers are still searching for 3 people missing after a boat sank in San Francisco Bay near Alcatraz Island as part of a memorial service. 1 person was pulled from the water but later died, and 16 others were rescued Tuesday afternoon. A dog on board also died. Authorities say the boat capsized amid swells of up to 5 feet. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 150 points. The S&P 500 advanced by 28. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-555-2085. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-555-2085. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-555-2085. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-555-2085 or biglou.com.
Swantees of Bullhead City has been a permanent source for Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram vehicles since 1990. Swantees has the largest selection of new and used cars and trucks in the tri-state area. They have a knowledgeable parts department and an award-winning service department. Whether it's a Ram truck, a Jeep Wrangler, or a Dodge Charger, there's always great deals to be had at Swantees of Bullhead City at 2494 Highway 95. Stop in and see us.
Jabber, jabber, jabber. It's the sound of people talking about other people. Gossiping around the water cooler is an age-old tradition, but is it really okay? I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht, and I'll tell you more in just a moment.
Your email is your business, but if it's spied on, hacked, or intercepted, it can fall into the wrong hands. The solution is encryption, a high-tech way to scramble your data so no one can read it. For years, only the technical elite could use this powerful tool until StartMail came along. StartMail not only lets you encrypt the email you send, it encrypts your entire account. Encryption. It's just one more way StartMail.com keeps you safe.
Gossip is more than idle talk. A study by Northeastern University proves that negative chit-chat actually changes the way we view the person who's defamed. Volunteers viewed images of neutral human faces paired with negative, positive, or neutral gossip. When shown an image associated with negative comments like "she stole money," volunteers spent much more time studying the person's face than they did the other faces. Researchers believe the change in visual perception of people associated with negative gossip is a protective mechanism. It helps us steer clear of people with a reputation for lying, cheating, and harming others. I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht for Start Mail, private email you can trust.
Route 66 Broadband has always provided the fastest and most reliable service in Mojave Valley, Golden Shores, Golden Valley, and Needles. Amazing speed and flexible data plans. Digital TV and phone service available too. In Needles, call 760-326-4190. In Mojave Valley, call 928-565-4190. Visit their website at route66broadband.com.
Your forecast on KTOX 1340 and 92.9, the Tri-State's talk leader. Right now it's sunny and 114 degrees here in Needles, with a high near 114 this afternoon. Tomorrow stays sunny, with highs in the hundreds and overnight lows in the 80s. Over in Bullhead, it's 113 and sunny, and Oatman's at 103 under sunny skies. From the KTOX Route 66 Broadband Weather Center, I'm Roger Storm.
KTOX. The opinions voiced on the Rob Hanson radio program are those of the host and the callers, and not necessarily those of KTOX and Reuben Broadcasting.
Oh my goodness gracious me, Mercy Sakes Alive. It is the Miss Rob Hanson radio program right here on the Tri-State's undisputed talk leader. That'd be KTOX 1340 AM and 92.9 FM. Oh, I'm back, and I'm glad to be back. Let's get this started.
It's a radio program on KTOX 1340 AM, now with FM on 92.9 FM. The Tri-State's undisputed talk leader.
And welcome back. 855-586-9134 is the number if you want to join in the conversation. Phone lines are definitely open. It is Wednesday, July 15th, 2026. And, tonight we're going to talk about something that makes me as a parent, as a grandparent, and a decent American absolutely furious. And it probably ought to make you furious, too. We're going to be diving into recent court cases right here in our region, Arizona, Nevada, California, where individuals convicted of horrific crimes against children are getting sentences that, in too many cases, feel like a slap on the wrist rather than real justice. And from my standpoint, our job is, as a society, is one of law and order. And that is to protect the innocent, especially our kids. Not coddle predators with plea deals, light time or revolving door justice. This evening, I'm going to walk you through verified stories from official sources like the U.S. Department of Justice and local news outlets. We'll look at what happened and why these outcomes are unacceptable, and why we desperately need harsher sentencing for these monsters. No sugarcoating, no political correctness, just harsh realities. Now, let's start with the facts, because we deal around here in reality, not feelings. I've cross-checked these reports from the DOJ, press releases, and reputable local outlets. These are public records of people convicted in our backyards. In Arizona, Good old Mr. Adam Cliff in Phoenix. This April 2026, specifically April 9th, Adam Cliff was sentenced in Maricopa County Superior Court. He only got 12.5 years in prison, plus lifetime supervised probation with sex offender registration requirements on charges of sexual exploitation of a minor. That involved child sexual abuse material. He also picked up separate time for drug trafficking. And from reports from Arizona Attorney General Chris May's office, confirmed he pled guilty. Total of effective time he's going to be in prison, 19 to 20 years when you add the drug sentence. Now, some will say that's pretty harsh. But when you're dealing with someone who exploits children for sick gratification and then runs drugs on the side, is 12.5 years really enough? I mean, these crimes destroy lives. Victims carry the scars forever. Deterrence matters. Mandatory minimums should be no longer. No early release games. And for repeat or aggravated cases, we ought to be looking at life without parole possibilities more often. Or better yet, even the death sentence. I know that that carries a lot of that death sentence part pisses a lot of Americans off. But we're looking at people who have gotten away with their crimes for so damn long, and then they get slapped on the wrist. Now let's head north into Nevada. Two cases from early 2026 that highlight both the problem and one instance, a stronger response. The first is from the Reno area. On March 24th, 2026, a registered sex offender was sentenced in federal court to 60 months, 5 years in prison. He was already convicted as a sex offender. And then he'll follow that up by 15 years of supervised release. His crime? Oh, he only received thousands of sexual abuse images and videos. This case was highlighted from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children tip. The U.S. Attorney's Office called it the mandatory minimum. 5 years for receiving thousands of these vile images. That's a system working at its weakest. I've long argued that the possession of distribution of this material fuels this abuse cycle. Recidivism rates for sex offenders are stubbornly high in study after study after study. We need federal mandatory minimums that actually punish the man side hard. Decades not a handful of years. Then there's the Sparks case that got even more attention. On March 30th, 2026, Angel Fernandez was sentenced to 23 years in federal prison plus 15 years supervised release and sex offender registration. He pleaded guilty to multiple counts of sexual abuse of a minor and abusive sexual contact within Indian country. The victims included 4 Native American children in the Reno Sparks Indian Colony. The U.S. Attorney's Office and Reno Sparks Indian Colony both spoke out, emphasizing the severity. 23 years is better than 5. And it shows sometimes the feds get it right when the evidence is overwhelming. But even here, ask yourself, multiple children, multiple child victims. Is 23 years the maximum we can do? For aggravated cases involving multiple victims or positions of trust? In this case, we should have been pushing for life sentences or the death penalty. Frankly, these predators don't deserve a second, third, or fourth chance at freedom just to go out and reoffend. Now, here's another Nevada example. This is one I actually agree with. Former Washoe County School District employee Caitlin Rock was convicted in January 2026 on 19 counts related to the sexual assault of a student, a 13-year-old boy. On April 17, 2026, she was sentenced to life in prison. She'll be eligible for parole in roughly about 144 years. The judge rejected lighter arguments from the defense. This is closer to what real justice looks like. This was a school employee, someone entrusted with children. They betrayed that trust in the absolute worst way. This is why we need strong laws treating these dangerous crimes against children, not relationships. Positions of authority should carry enhanced penalties. And life means life when kids are the victim. Well, let's travel on here to California. Just 2 days ago, on July 13th, 2026, in California's Eastern District, former Correction Sergeant Ralph Contreras Jr., who worked in the Central California Women's Facility in Chowchilla, was sentenced to 15 years in federal prison for receipt and distribution of child sexual abuse material. Now, mind you, he pleaded guilty back in April, but he's a prison guard, someone who ought be upholding the law. He's caught trafficking this material. 15 years. Again, better than nothing, but we need to ask ourselves the question, why isn't the floor higher for these crimes? Especially when the perpetrator had a position of public trust. We need sentencing guidelines that treat child sexual abuse material distribution as the serious life-destroying offense that it is. Excuse me. No more first-time offender discounts when children's innocence is on the line. These cases from Arizona, Nevada, and California are from the first half of 2026. And it's starting to show a pattern. Some of the sentences are decent, 23 years here, life with a long parole, wait there. But way too often we see 5 years, 12 to 15 years for crimes that shatter families and scar children for life. From my point of view, this stems from decades of criminal justice reform. And definitely pushed by the left. You know, those soft on crime policies, those revolving door policies, our prisons are too crowded. We really can't afford to stack them up like cordwood in the prisons any longer. We've seen the results, especially in the sexual exploitation portion of this. Higher recidivism in some categories. This emboldens predators, and victims are left wondering if justice even exists. Our founding principles and traditional values demand better. You know, government's core job is protecting its citizens, especially the most vulnerable, our kids. And this means harsher sentencing. I'm talking about mandatory minimum sentences of 20 to 30 plus years for production, distribution, or aggravated abuse. Life without parole is the fault for repeat offenders or those with multiple victims, or even better, the death penalty. Ending sweetheart plea deals that let predators walk with a fraction of the time. Stronger enforcement of sex offender registries and restrictions, and no more loopholes. Maybe perhaps exploring proven deterrence using other tough on crime jurisdictions like extended supervision, or where constitutional additional measures on post release, or like Idaho or Florida, where the death penalty is definitely on the table for pedophiles. Data and common sense back this up. Studies consistently show that certainty and severity of punishment deter crime more effectively than leniency. I've been saying this for years while progressives experiment with revolving doors. Look at the states with tough laws versus those with progressive prosecutors. Crime trends often tell these stories. The predators don't operate in a vacuum. Weak sentencing sends a message to that society that doesn't take child exploitation seriously enough. That has to change. That absolutely has to change. We need lawmakers especially in red districts and red states and districts, to pass and enforce truth in sentencing laws. No more early release for good behavior on these charges. Full time served. And let's talk about culture for a moment. Conservatives believe in stronger families, personal responsibility, and moral clarity. Most of us reject the idea that it's just images or that offenders are victims of circumstances. No. Protecting children is non-negotiable. Our schools, our churches, our communities must stay vigilant. And parents, know who's around your kids. Support law enforcement. Vote for candidates who prioritize child safety over ideology. If you're a parent or grandparent, this hits home. These stories aren't abstract. They're happening in our area. The solution isn't more therapy programs or lighter sentences. It's about accountability, real consequences, justice that actually fits the crime. Let's go to the phones real quick. KTOX, you are on the air. Thanks for waiting.
Hi, Rob. This is Kenny.
Hey, Kenny.
Yucca.
Hi, Kenny and Yucca. You okay?
Just about. I had a breathing problem there for a second.
Well, don't stop breathing, please. It's not pleasant.
I'd like to discuss a little history.
Go ahead.
At what point did these incidences started becoming illegal and prosecutable? At what point in history did that happen?
I haven't the foggiest idea. You're older than me, you tell me.
I'd say mid-20th century.
Okay. So, raping a kid before the mid-20th century was okay?
Evidently, because it wasn't a crime then.
I'm not sure I agree with that.
I don't either, but I'm just reviewing history as I see it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What are we going to do about today? Because it is a crime. It is a crime. It destroys kids.
Well, obviously, a lot of judges don't see your view as how serious the crimes are.
Let me tell you a story. Actually, you probably heard this story a few times. There was a man who liked to go to Walmart and hang out in the little girls section, where he would hike his short shorts up so much that his junk fell out. And he'd play with himself in front of little children while staring at them. One of those children was my daughter and my mother. My mother wasn't a child, but another one was a 4-year-old girl in a shopping cart. Another one, by the way, this is the same day, was a 12-year-old girl who was doing nothing but trying to run away. This man, this man received only 200 days in jail and 3 years probation.
And the examples go on and on and on.
Yeah. And there was a cop in Bullhead City by the name of Detective English. He dropped the ball on this. Him and the county prosecutor decided that they charged him with several felonies that would have landed him in prison for up to 60 years because of the number of victims. He ended up getting prosecuted on only the misdemeanors because they played games. Now this was the prosecution.
Yeah, you mentioned culture earlier,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what we're dealing with is culture. So that's where we need to look to solve the problem, right?
I don't know. All I know is I'm sick and tired of hearing about these stories. I'm sick and tired of seeing people who destroy children's lives being left off the hook. But other than that,
well, you're describing things that go on and on and on. A lot of them are the opportunities are made available by modern society, like Walmart, for instance.
I'm not clear I understand what you mean.
Well, before Walmarts came along, would those people have been in there in the little girls section?
No, there was J.C. Penney's, there was Sears, there was other department stores. Sure, why not? It's not just Walmart. That was this guy's target of opportunity.
Well, as I mentioned, the targets of opportunity become more and more frequent with modern society.
Okay.
This is a cultural problem, a cultural issue, and that's how it needs to be dealt with.
Okay. How do you deal with it? What's your opinion on how to deal with it?
It takes a lot of isn't it going to take some discussions, some back and forth conversation to come to some sort of understanding that these things need to have more attention paid to them?
Yeah, that's a grand start, but what do we do? More harsher sentences? I'm all for the death penalty, honestly. I am all for the death penalty with these sorry evil monsters. You want to rape a kid? You'll never get your chance again because you're dead.
Another cultural issue promoting this are computers.
Okay. How so?
Where do they get the images at?
Before they got them through the mail.
Well, there's a pipeline for these images somewhere.
Yeah. There's a pipeline for these images pretty much everywhere.
Do you think maybe that's where they ought to start looking?
They do. They do. Look. And most of the time they've gotten caught because they've gotten caught up in a sting operation. If you remember, I think it was about 4, maybe 5 years ago, there was a massive sting operation in the tri-state area where they nabbed about 100 people who were downloading child sex exploitation videos. Do you remember that?
Kiddie porn rackets have been around forever.
I understand that, but do you remember that? It was about 5 years ago. They had this great big sting operation. I think they nabbed at least 100 people in the tri-state area. Because I know I talked about it for quite a bit. But a lot of these people got very little time.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of the judges don't seem to agree with you on the seriousness of the issue.
Well, then I feel bad for them.
Well, the thing is, it's a cultural issue. How do we go about changing this
Make
cultural
laws.
issue?
Make laws. Make laws that require very high sentences. Make laws. Demand from your lawmakers that they make laws that protect kids, that sentence these monsters to incredible times behind bars or a hangman's rope. Whichever. Make laws. It's more than just a discussion at this point. You say it's a cultural thing? Let's change the culture. Let's make it a life or death situation for getting caught with this stuff. How about that?
Well, that would be something new for society in America.
Not really, because Florida has the death penalty for child exploitation and sexual assault, and so does Idaho.
2 states out of 50?
2 states out of 50.
That
Let's
doesn't seem like a
make
cultural
it
fix
fit.
to me.
Well, no, it's a start, though. It's a start. Anyway, Kenny, thanks for your call. I do appreciate it.
Thank you.
You betcha. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
KTOX, you're on the air.
Seriously,
you're on the air.
I'm really very sorry. You actually had a child molested by a teacher. That is disgusting.
I did not have a child molested by a teacher.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that's what you were saying before.
No.
Anyway,
I had a child who was chased down by a sexual predator while he played with himself in the middle of Walmart.
Oh, gotcha. Sorry, I didn't hear that part.
Yeah.
Anyways,
okay.
you know, obviously child predators are horrible people, but you know what's really funny? Remember Van Halen, the group Van Halen? They did a song called "I'm Hot for Teacher" and did a video on it, which was very, very disrespectful to the teachers. Okay, and the teachers union made him take it off the air in California. I know at least, but you know, I mean, I got to tell you, when I was 13, 14 years old and had a hot teacher, I wouldn't mind doing her, dude. I would have considered that advanced sexual education. You know what I mean?
And
But,
that
you know.
teacher would have been convicted of advanced statutory rape.
Yes, I understand that, but look at biblical times in the Old West. What did they say? If you're old enough to believe, you're old enough to believe.
Yeah. Careful.
Let me ask you another question. I don't mean to get off subject. You live in Bullhead City. I'm in the Mojave Valley. Really, really officially, and you're really politically involved, and I've heard some of your previous broadcasts. But have you gotten this thing called Official 2026 Republican Voter Guide?
Yeah, I got that several weeks ago.
Oh, okay. Well, now, if you look at the very bottom of this thing, it says Official 2026 Republican Voter Guide. And if you look at the bottom, it says paid for by Turning Point PAC, Arizona, not authorized by any candidate or agents acting blah, 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 blah. So what do you think? Is this BS or what?
PACs are allowed to spend the money however they want to and send out whatever information. I mean,
Well, I guess the question is you've been politically involved. You talk a lot about Anderson Field, all your tax dollars going to that with nothing happening there, basically.
Right.
And so, I mean, what do you think? I mean, do you think it's legit or not?
What do I think? When the revolution comes, we need to first we need to kill all the lawyers, then the politicians. But no, seriously,
I would agree with that.
But seriously, I don't care. I get enough political ads in my mailbox every week from. But hang on, I get political ads from pretty much everybody. I've seen the Turning Point ads. I've seen. Oh hell, I've even seen one from the Arizona Communists. Like. How I got on their mailing list, I'll never know. But it was kind of funny, actually. It's like, really? Communists here in Arizona? Gee, I think we have helicopters for that problem. But that's neither here nor there. I don't care about them because, I look at it. I'll look at it. Okay, I'll see the information. I might flip through it if I'm not running my butt off between here and Timbuktu.
Yeah.
Normally I just either toss it to the side, toss it in the trash, or it sits in the back seat of my car for the next 6 months.
But you're like I get the impression you're across from a conservative like I am. I'm a conservative on some issues and a liberal on others.
I am a constitutional conservative and a flaming social liberal.
A constitutional construction and a flaming liberal. That's such
a flaming social liberal. In other words, leave me alone. Let me do what I want to do.
Right. Exactly.
Let me live how I want to live. But as far as the Constitution goes, I want all governments held to the same standard.
No, absolutely. But they never do. They never do. The Russian hoax, the whole Russian hoax against Trump was BS. Oh, well, the statute of limitations is over, so no one's going to jail. You had Biden pardon everybody before he left. So, well, they got pardoned, so nobody's going to jail. Fauci's not going to jail. Nobody's going to do anything. I mean, what the hell, dude? I mean, what do you?
I know. I hear you. Anyway, thanks for the call. I hate it.
Have a good one, dude.
I hate it, but thanks for the call. 855-586-9134 is the number if you want to join in the conversation. Take a quick break. We'll be right back. K2X Needles.
Space cowboy. Yeah. Some call me the gangster of love. Some people call me more.
This portion of the Rob Hanson radio program could be brought to you by you for as little as $25 a week. For more information, email us at info@ktox1340.com. That's info@ktox1340.com. info@ktox1340.com.
KTOX.
KTOX. The Tri-States Talk Leader.
Stuck in Bullhead City without a ride? Don't waste time. Call Taxi. We're your local experts for fast, reliable transportation around town, to the airport, or anywhere you need to go. Our friendly drivers ensure safe, comfortable rides at affordable rates, 24/7. Whether it's a quick errand or a night out, we've got you covered. Call now, 928-201-2953. That's 928-201-2953. Time Call Taxi, because time is money, and we're always on time.
Swantees of Bullhead City has been a permanent source for Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram vehicles since 1990. Swantees has the largest selection of new and used cars and trucks in the tri-state area. They have a knowledgeable parts department and an award-winning service department. Whether it's a Ram truck, a Jeep Wrangler, or a Dodge Charger, there's always great deals to be had at Swantees of Bullhead City at 2494 Highway 95. Stop in and see us.
Stuck in Bullhead City without a ride? Don't waste time. Call Taxi. We're your local experts for fast, reliable transportation around town, to the airport, or anywhere you need to go. Our friendly drivers ensure safe, comfortable rides at affordable rates, 24/7. Whether it's a quick errand or a night out, we've got you covered. Call now, 928-201-2953. That's 928-201-2953. Time Call Taxi, because time is money, and we're always on time.
Developers and investors, located in beautiful Needles, California. This is your opportunity. Riverlux Resort, a city-approved 15-acre mixed-use development along the Colorado River, zoned PUD and C2, ready for retail, resort, and residential growth. Prime location between the river and the golf course, where lifestyle meets potential. Visit riverluxresort.com and discover the vision.
I've been telling folks for a long time we don't have salespeople here at KTOX. And that's not totally accurate. In fact, we do have salespeople. They're our satisfied clients. They tell their fellow business associates about advertising with us. That's why most of our advertisers are from referrals. We have no salespeople, at least in the traditional sense. Call KTOX and find out more about advertising on the Tri-States Talk Leader at 760-326-4500.
Has anybody told you about Coast to Coast AM tonight?
Coast to Coast is one of those programs that deals with strange mysteries. We'll look at Bigfoot. We'll look at UFOs. We'll look at real science. And we'll also look at conspiracies and what it all means to you, the listeners of Coast to Coast AM.
It's the best in overnight talk radio. Coast to Coast AM.
That's Coast to Coast every night at 10 p.m. right here on KTOX.
Hi, Crystal again from High Desert Heat. Never before in history has it been more important to hang on to your Second Amendment rights. Times are changing fast. Make sure you and your family are protected. At High Desert Heat, we have all your Second Amendment needs. Weekly CCW classes as well as training or even a try before you buy. Custom Cerakoting, engraving, ladies private and group shooting classes. We are your hometown family-friendly one-stop shop. High Desert Heat, 4410 Highway 95, Fort Mojave, Arizona, 928-763-4328.
Here at Renegade Radio, our topics are always hot, fresh, and full body, just like your favorite cup of morning coffee. Of course, we don't like too much caffeine in our host during the show. The results could be disastrous. Check this out.
Here we go.
Caller, you're live on 1340.
Morning, Dave.
Good morning.
Picture this if you can. As crowded as Highway 95 is now, a road widening project. Heavy equipment, heavy dump trucks coming in, hauling material in and out. Wouldn't that be a recipe for disaster?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that the Arcadia Boulevard project that runs north, south, parallel east of Highway 95 is the most beautiful thing because they can be building that while we're all doing Highway 95 when it opens up. It's like, well,
So just be happy we're smart enough to carry an intelligent conversation without all the adlibs. 1340 AM, Renegade Radio.
Dandy Donuts and Deli offers the best donuts and pastries in the tri-state area, hands down, and they are baked fresh every day. Dandy features 9 flavors of boba tea and a variety of smoothies, including espresso, mocha, and Thai tea. Their deli menu makes for a perfect lunch when you're on the go. Dandy Donuts and Deli at 4630 Highway 95 in Fort Mojave. Order online for fast pickup or call 928-444-1100.
And tell them that you heard it on KTOX. KTOX Needles, the very best in live local talk.
To talk with Rob on the air, call 855-586-9134.
And welcome back. 855-586-9134 is the number if you want to join in the conversation. You know, here are some more examples. Cases involving probation or short terms for exploitation-related offenses. Some Maricopa County, Pima County have resulted in probation or under 5 years when charges are reduced. One pattern noted in local reporting is offenders with prior records receiving time served plus probation for violations, which critics argue fails to incarcerate dangerous individuals. Specifically, specific 2025 and 2026 examples often end in multiple year terms, but lesser contact or online cases occasionally draw fire for house arrest or suspended sentences. Let's go to the phones. KTOX, you're on the air.
Hi, Rob.
Hey,
you
Kenny.
Mentioned critics. You mentioned critics. Who might those critics be?
Oh, that'd be me. That'd be you. That'd be everybody else who finds, sentencing, probation, or light jail terms horrendous. What is it? Ohio. There was an Ohio judge. Man went and raped a 10-year-old girl multiple times. He got 30 days in jail and 2 years probation. This was about 12 years ago, I think.
So when the critics come out and start blasting this sort of behavior, who's there to back them up?
Who's there? What do you mean?
Well, there needs to be some push, doesn't there, for things to happen?
Yeah, people like me talk loudly and angrily. People like you talk loudly and angrily. We start voting for people who talk angry and talk loudly about protecting children from sexual predators.
That's where I went to the notion of history. When did they even decide that it was bad behavior for this type of thing? It obviously been going on since humanity's been around. So why all of a sudden did it become bad behavior?
Has there been laws explicitly protecting children from sexual abuse have existed for centuries.
Until about the mid-20th century, that wasn't an issue.
Hang on a second. Would you listen to me? The earliest secular age of consent laws was enacted in England in 1275, making it a misdemeanor to ravish a maiden within age. England later passed a law in 1576 explicitly creating felony charges for carnally knowing girls under the age of 10. So, yes, they've been around for centuries.
Well, obviously, the culture never paid much attention to it because nothing ever came of it in this country till about the mid-20th century.
Let's see here. Let's see. I see what you mean. I see what you mean, but there have been statutory laws, and depending upon where you were, where you lived, justice was a little bit more fluid. You raped a kid, you hung by the neck before even the district judge could see you. You harmed a child, you harmed a woman, you did anything, you were probably dead before you got to see the inside of a court.
Chivalry.
Yeah. Now,
I guess that's what you're referring to as chivalry.
Well, somewhat, yes. However, sexual abuse is illegal in every state. Point blank and simple. The federal government has had hearings on child sexual abuse for at least a century. Laws have been enacted across all 50 states. Eventually. So the culture that you speak of is not one of permissive culture. What I'm getting at is that because of lax liberal policies, soft on crime, renaming the offense wasn't long ago where they started calling people who were attracted to children, MAPS, minor attracted persons, trying to soften it from pedophile. Wasn't that long ago. Matter of fact, that was roughly 2020. That caused a major ripple through the conservative side of the House. And I'm talking population-wise, not necessarily lawmakers. People got right upset. I got upset. Because once you start softening the names, well, these people just are confused. They need help. No, they need a grave. They need to get up and close and personal with a hangman's rope, a shotgun, or, feet first through a wood chipper.
Oh, that 13-year-old boy you were mentioning, molested by his teacher?
Yeah.
He got beat up by all the other 13-year-old boys.
I doubt that seriously. That's not even funny.
It's not supposed to be funny. It's supposed to be fact.
Well, when we start becoming permissive of things like that, we've lost our society.
Well, it's been lost for a long time. Now you're trying to regain it. See what you're up against?
Yeah, I know what I'm up against. I'm up against the devil. And the devil and the devil likes dead kids, and the devil likes hurt kids. The devil likes a society that is fast and loose with morals. What kind of society allows abortion up to birth?
Obviously, an immoral society.
What kind of society only mourns the death of children when it's politically advantageous? A morally bankrupt society.
Political society.
Well, that would be morally bankrupt as well. What kind of society only cares about the death of anybody when it means they can make a point or a political statement? An immoral society.
Democratic society.
Well, the liberal society. My point here is this. If we value our life, we value our lives, we value the lives of our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren, the people who will eventually put us all in the nursing homes.
If we're lucky.
If we're lucky. Maybe it's time we start really, truly taking care of them. Thanks for your call, man. Do appreciate it.
Thank you, Rob.
Bye-bye. 855-586-9134. Got about 21 seconds left in this, in the first hour. My God, the first hour is up and gone. Holy cow. Oh. I know this is a hard topic to talk about. I know it makes people uncomfortable. But sometimes the best conversations are the ones that make us most uncomfortable because that promotes change. Change for the better. It is the Mr. Rob Hanson radio program. Back after top of the hour news. KTOX Needles.
KTOX and K281CR Needles.
If you are just turning on your radios,
this is KTOX.
To bring you up to date on the news.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. The U.S. has reimposed a blockade on Iran after Tehran's attacks on ships in the Strait of Hormuz, but Iran remains defiant.
Tehran has insisted that any ship going through the strait must do so on a route through Iranian waters and must follow the instructions of Iran's paramilitary Revolutionary Guard. Now, the U.S. had been trying to support those vessels, and the UN's International Maritime Organization had supported this route around Oman, but the ships that have been attacked by Iran in recent days all have been plying that route.
That's correspondent John Gambrell reporting from Dubai, United Arab Emirates. Days of back-and-forth strikes by the U.S. and Iran across the Middle East and renewed threats to the waterway crucial to global energy supplies have shredded the interim deal to end the conflict. Throughout most of this month, Town Hall News has been partnering with the international Christian nonprofit relief organization Food for the Poor to rush emergency medical supplies and meals to earthquake victims in Venezuela. As international media attention turns to other headlines, the group's spokesman Daniel Patino says help is needed now more than ever.
Well, yes, this is actually the moment that matters the most. This is when the cameras leave and the need remains. And again, families don't rebuild their lives overnight. Families that Food for the Poor serves, and even as well as the families that have already been blessed by your listeners, there's still more families that we are seeing day to day that need our help. Every donation counts and is getting to the families right away.
Patino adds that a donation banner to help victims can be found at our website, srnnews.com. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 150 points, the S&P up by 28. More at Town Hall.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-822-1716. 800-822-1716. 800-822-1716.
Swantees of Bullhead City has been a permanent source for Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram vehicles since 1990. Swantees has the largest selection of new and used cars and trucks in the tri-state area. They have a knowledgeable parts department and an award-winning service department. Whether it's a Ram truck, a Jeep Wrangler, or a Dodge Charger, there's always great deals to be had at Swantees of Bullhead City at 2494 Highway 95. Stop in and see us.
Living alone is no fun. For one thing, you have to do all the chores by yourself, but new evidence suggests it may also increase the risk of becoming depressed. I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht, back with details on loneliness and mental health next.
Is your email box overrun with spam? With a StartMail account, you'll never have to give your real email address to a stranger again. Online shopping, newsletter subscriptions, getting that 30% off coupon, they all need your email address. But with StartMail, you can invent new addresses or aliases linked to your inbox behind the scenes and give those out to people while keeping your real address hidden. It's just one more protection from StartMail.com.
We all know the elderly are more prone to depression if they live alone, but new research suggests the same pattern may also affect younger, working-age adults. In a study of 3,500 people aged 30 to 65, researchers found a quarter of those living alone took antidepressants. That's almost twice the rate of those with spouses, family, or roommates. Did living alone cause depression, or do depression-prone people simply prefer solitude? Both explanations are plausible, but there's one important wake-up call for all of us: to reach out to friends, family, and neighbors who live alone. Some human contact could make all the difference in the world. I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht, reminding you to try StartMail.
Route 66 Broadband is locally owned and operated company with a local attitude. What that means to you is better service. With internet service and digital TV in Needles, Golden Valley, Mojave Valley, and Golden Shore. Call Needles at 760-326-4190 and Golden Valley at 928-565-4190. Be sure to check out the website at route66broadband.com. It's all about reliable high-speed service and much more.
Good evening from KTOX 1340 and 92.9. Right now, it's clear and 114 degrees here in Needles, with an overnight low around 85. Tomorrow stays sunny with a high near 109 and a low near 83. Over in Bullhead, it's 113 and clear, dropping to around 88 tonight. KTOX 1340 and 92.9. The Tri-State's talk leader for over 20 years. From the KTOX Route 66 Broadband Weather Center, I'm Steve Castor.
Keep local news independent. Support KTOX 1340.
The opinions voiced on the Rob Hanson radio program are those of the host and the callers, and not necessarily those of KTOX and Reuben Broadcasting.
Oh my goodness gracious me, Mercy Sakes Alive. Welcome to hour number 2 of the Miss Rob Hanson radio program. It is July 15th, 2026. Let's get this thing started, shall we? I think we shall.
It's the Miss Rob Hanson radio program on KTOX 1340 AM, now with FM on 92.9 FM, the Tri-State's undisputed talk leader.
You wanna scream and shout. Presidential party. No one wants to dance. Looking for a new star to put you in the traps.
And welcome back. 855-586-9134. Let's change gears a little bit, because frankly I don't want to talk about sexual predators anymore, because it really does raise my blood pressure up quite a bit, and I get very, very angry. So let's talk about the Save America Act, which, you know, has been passed several times in the House of Representatives, sent to the Senate, and then promptly ignored. So they came up with a new idea that has passed once again. House Republicans delivered a victory for election integrity today after passing the National Defense Authorization Act, the NDAA. That, you know, that's the one that you know, spends money for I don't know, things like the Army, Navy, Marines. And in that bill, they included the Save America Act language, sending the combined legislation to the Senate in a 217 to 209 vote. Now, only one Republican by the name of Thomas Massey voted no. Leaving 215 yay votes and 2 no votes. Democrats, one Democrat crossed the lines and voted yes. The rest of them voted nay, with 3 votes not voting. And the one independent in the House voted yay, totaling 217 to 209 votes, with 5 not voting. Now, the move marks the latest escalation in President Trump's push to require proof of U.S. citizenship and voter registration and strengthen voter identification requirements before the 2026 midterm elections. Let's go to the phones real quick. KTOX, you're on the air.
I called Senator Kelly's office Sunday afternoon requesting that he go along with the SAVE program. Now, I don't know if he's one of the absent, one of the ones who voted absent.
He's in the Senate.
Yeah. I thought we were talking about Senate.
No, we were talking about the House. House of Representatives passed this.
Well, the House already passed it.
Yeah. So now it's heading over to the Senate.
But I called Mark Kelly, even though he's a Democrat, and requested that he go along with the SAFE Act.
Which is your right. I'm glad you did.
Now, that's what more of us need to do, just like more of us need to address the issues of kiddie porn and make it so it's a little more culturally non-acceptable.
Well, it is culturally non-acceptable. It is culturally non-acceptable.
For some, obviously it is. For some, obviously it is not.
Yeah. I'd say for most it is not acceptable. And for, unfortunately, a few, it is. All right, Kenny.
Well, for a lot of judges, it seems to be acceptable.
Well, judges are kind of restricted in what they can do. Anyway, not backing up the judges. A lot of this is also the prosecution's fault. Anyway, thanks for the call, Kenny. Do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. 855-586-9134. KTOX, you're on the air.
You know, I looked up daylight savings times, and the history of that, if it's correct on YouTube or in history, was done by the Germans back in the 1930s. They realized that having daylight savings times was saving more energy and usage within their communities. Then, of course, growing up in the communist state of California, I was always told that, oh, it's because of the farmers. We have to have the farmers and this and that. Now, while I was in the communist state of California, it was the merchants that didn't want daylight savings times because if it's darker, people aren't going to come to their stores. They wanted more daylight. 1 or 2 more hours of daylight, people will come. They don't want to go to your store in the darkness. I don't know. What do you think of all that?
I don't. You know what? Here's what I think about it. I like that I live in Arizona where I don't have to change my clock every 6 months. The only thing I have to do every 6 months is figure out what time it is at KTOX. Other than that, I don't care.
Right.
It's not high on my priorities list. When I was growing up living in Wyoming, we'd moan and complain, oh, we lost an hour of sleep. Or, oh, we have to get up an hour early. Or, oh, hey, look, we get to go to bed an hour late. We thought it was nothing. It was nothing. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
When we went to daylight savings time, the snow was flying. We were inside anyway.
Yeah, I really don't care about daylight savings times, which way it goes. I mean, right now, if it's kept the same way it is, the only thing you have to worry about being in the tri-states is you might have a doctor's appointment, across the river in Nevada. You might have one someplace else. So you got to have 2 clocks. If you're a senior citizen going, oh my God, what day is it? Looking at the calendar, you know. You're going to have 2 clocks set up. Oh, I didn't miss my appointment, you know. So whatever.
That's
But
all
anyway.
right. I should start a movement. We all go by Zulu time. Or Greenwich Mean Time.
That would be good.
No,
Let's put everybody on Greenwich Mean Time.
Exactly.
Well, when you and I were in NATO, dude, what happens when an alert happens? You all go on Zulu time. Baby.
Exactly.
Yeah, you coordinate on Zulu time. It might be 6 o'clock in your world, and you got to go to 8 o'clock or whatever. You know, or whatever.
Guess
it is.
what?
Yeah.
In ham radio land, we all use Zulu.
Yeah. I say we all go to Zulu time, bro.
Oh, okay. We can do that.
All right, man. Have a good one.
Sounds like a good one. Thanks. 855-586-9134. Okay, that was weird. Anyway, this vote came weeks after intense pressure from conservative lawmakers and grassroots activists demanded that Speaker Mike Johnson ensure the Save America Act was attached to the must-pass legislation rather than allowing it to languish in the Senate once again. The House first approved a special rules resolution to attach the Save America Act through the NDAA. Overcoming fierce Democratic opposition, every Democrat voted against that procedural measure, with only one Republican, Randy Fine from Florida, joining them. Conservatives argued that incorporating the election integrity legislation into a must-pass national security legislation would make it significantly more difficult for the Senate leadership to ignore the issue. Of course, President Trump has repeatedly made passage of the Save America Act one of his top legislative priorities, insisting that Republicans deliver stronger safeguards for federal elections before the next nationwide vote. Trump has also used other legislative priorities as a leverage in an effort to force action on the bill. So today, the U.S. House passed the Save America Act as part of a must-pass national security legislation in a 217 to 209 vote. Now, I guess it's up to the Senate to figure out exactly how they're going to do this, because I imagine there's going to be a lot of Democrat resistance to this. Probably one of their famous non-speaking filibusters. Or they'll just strip the language out and pass and pass the NDAA and then send it back to the House. That's my guess. I don't know. You tell me. 855-586-9134 is the number if you want to join in the conversation. It is the Miss Rob Hanson radio program. We'll be back after these messages. KTOX Needles. This portion of the Rob Hanson radio program could be brought to you by you for as little as $25 a week. For more information, email us at info@ktox1340.com. That's info@ktox1340.com. info@ktox1340.com.
KTOX. KTOX. The Tri-States Talk Leader.
The Tri-States Talk Leader. KTOX. 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 KT
Stuck in Bullhead City without a ride? Don't waste time. Call Taxi. We're your local experts for fast, reliable transportation around town, to the airport, or anywhere you need to go. Our friendly drivers ensure safe, comfortable rides at affordable rates, 24/7. Whether it's a quick errand or a night out, we've got you covered. Call now, 928-201-2953. That's 928-201-2953. Time Call Taxi, because time is money, and we're always on time.
My name is Lola Silvestri, and I'm going to be 95 this year. I spend a lot of time in my backyard. I feed the birds and the bees. I love my flowers. The color in my garden keeps the pink in my cheeks. I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell and I had to have Meals on Wheels. I love them. They're my savior. And I look forward to volunteers because they've all become my friends.
It's Meals on Wheels.
America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores you've ever had. In '01, we stayed up all night telling ghost stories with the neighbors. Yeah, I know I've got a bit of wear and tear. And sadly, in '09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire. When a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush.
Sparks from an improperly extinguished fire pit can start a wildfire. Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com, brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
I spend a lot of time in the garage, but even more time in the rain, sleet, and mud. In '95, I helped tow your moving trailer. In '05, I helped you get out of a ditch. Yeah, I know I'm a bit rusty, and sadly in '09, it was sparks from me, your handy chains, dragging behind your truck that accidentally started a wildfire.
Sparks from dragging chains can start a wildfire. Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com, brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, there he is. How's it going?
I'm having a stroke.
Are you going to shake my hand or what?
I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke.
Are you okay?
I'm having a stroke.
Your face looks weird, too.
I'm having a stroke.
Are you having a seizure or something?
I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear.
I'm having a stroke.
You just need to know the sudden signs. Look for FAST, F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. Or S, speech difficulty. Then T, time. Time to call 911 immediately, because the sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in their recovery. Know the sudden signs. Face, arm, speech, time. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
KTOX, we bring you facts without fear or favor.
To talk with Rob on the air, call 855-586-9134.
Smile.
And welcome back. 855-586-9134. If you're listening from the interstate right now, along the I-40 corridor here through Needles, boy, I'd be glad you weren't traveling eastbound early this morning about 8 hours ago. Had a truck overturned at the J Street exit that brought traffic to a complete stop for hours. Traffic is still snarled up there as they tried to clean up the mess. And, 8 hours later, it's like, holy cow. It's still a mess around there. I haven't been by to see it, but I've seen pictures of it on Facebook. I reported it earlier this morning. Oh Lord, that wasn't cool. Please be safe when you're driving out there. Anyway, traffic was backed up for miles this morning, and just absolute pandemonium out there. Of course, crews are still out there cleaning up stuff, and now they're going to have to replace a bunch of guardrail. It wasn't pleasant for a lot of people today, but if you're traveling eastbound across I-40, just slow down, be careful, and watch out for cleanup crews. Be patient. You'll get through it, and you'll be back up to speed in no time. Yeah. Kind of funny. CHP got it absolutely wrong in their post. The rig didn't jackknife. The rig fell over on its side. It laid down and blocked both lanes of traffic. I hope the driver is okay, and there anybody else that was involved in that. But yeah, that was definitely weird this morning. Got some weather coming up in the tri-state area. Tonight, going to be partly cloudy with lows around 89, with south winds 11 to 16 miles per hour, gusts as high as 26 miles per hour. Tomorrow, sunny and hot with highs near 110. Heat index values as high as 113 because of the very high humidity that we've been having. Well, for us anyway. South winds 11 to 17 miles per hour, with gusts as high as 29 miles per hour. Thursday night, a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms, mainly after 4 a.m. Partly cloudy with lows around 88. Breezy with south winds 16 to 25 miles per hour, because as high as 38 miles per hour. Friday, we have a 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms before 11 p.m. I'm sorry, a 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms, partly sunny with highs near 102. Heat index values as high as 108. South winds 11 to 17 miles per hour, with gusts as high as 25 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, a 10% chance of showers and thunderstorms before 11 p.m. Mostly cloudy with lows around 85. Southeast winds 9 to 17 miles per hour, with gusts as high as 28 miles per hour. Saturday, a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms, possibly after 8 a.m. Partly sunny with highs near 104. Chance of precipitation is 20%. And still have a 20% chance on Saturday night. Sunday, going to be sunny and hot with highs near 106. Monday, a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms, but mostly hot with highs near 106. Tuesday, mostly sunny and hot with highs near 107. And Wednesday, a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms, mostly sunny with highs near 108. Currently in the area, it's 115 degrees. And the dew point is above 51 degrees. So we are definitely in monsoon. So stay out of those low areas and for Christ's sake, if you see a wash that's flooded, don't drive into it thinking you can get across it. Every monsoon season, we have some brain surgeon out there who thinks that they can just drive through a flash flood. Don't do it. Stay on high ground. Stay in your car. Don't drive through washes. And we'll all make it home alive, right? Yeah. Anyway, Friday's looking like when we're going to get the real weather around here. So, just keep your eye out and just be careful. Oh, my goodness gracious me. So, multiple people have been shot inside a Kroger grocery store in Harris County, Texas. And the suspect is in critical condition. Police arrived at the scene as a suspect was walking out of the store and shot at him, leaving him in critical condition. A video from the scene shows police arresting a man who appeared to be the suspect. The incident, of course, is still under investigation, and the suspect, who is receiving medical treatment, is in custody. Witnesses reported seeing a black male wearing a yellow shirt and black pants firing a weapon inside the store. A possible suspect has been detained, and it's not clear yet whether it was a targeted or random shooting. Fox News' Brooke Taylor later described the scene as a domestic situation, according to sources. The shooter showed up at a busy Kroger where the victim worked and shot him. The victim is in grave condition. The shooter was also shot. Bystanders reportedly said that they were inside the store shopping when yelling and gunshots rang out. Those interviewed described the chaos with an old woman crying as everyone ran out the store. So, yay! We get to hear from the leftards some more about gun control. Not real happy about that. My thinking is if people were actually armed in the store, the moment that guy pulled the gun and started shooting, he should have been filled with rounds from at least 6 different directions. That's my thinking. There shouldn't have been anybody. But then again, criminals aren't exactly the brightest creatures on the planet, are they? Somebody will get mad, pull a gun, and start shooting, not thinking about the consequences or the lives that they're putting in danger. My point is if somebody is wishing to do bodily harm to another person, they're going to find a way, whether it's with a gun, a hammer, a screwdriver, fists, feet, a brick. They're gonna do it regardless. And disarming the rest of the population just so you can feel good about taking weapons off the street isn't going to solve the problem. Because the criminals are going to be able to get their hands on whatever they want to use to do bodily harm against somebody else. If they are planning a mass shooting event, God, I hate those terms. They're going to do it regardless of what laws that you think you want to pass. Whether it be no firearms at all, period. Or like Virginia's, Virginia's getting ready to lose in the Supreme Court. But Virginia's anti-assault weapon ban. It's not going to do a darn thing to curb violence. Because a person intent on harming other people are going to find a way regardless of what stupid law you pass. The only people that are going to follow those laws are law-abiding citizens. And now you've put them in danger. You've put their lives at risk. Because they can now no longer defend themselves. They become targets. They become sheep. You know, one of the things that Henry and I and even Pastor Jim and I have disagreed on is gun control laws. I am a 2A absolutist. I believe all American citizens have the right, the duty, and the responsibility to be armed. And if you choose not to be, well, then that's your choice. Let's go to the phones real quick. KTOX, you're on the air. Thanks for waiting.
Rob, this is Kenny.
Hey, Kenny, how you doing?
Okay.
So, are you a 2A absolutist?
Absolutely. What would be the appropriate arms for the militia if it has to go into action? Would be appropriate for the militia to have to go into that action?
Anything at hand. Anything at hand.
Now, do you believe there's still such a thing as a militia?
Of course I do. Of course I do. Now, you and I are too old to be militia people.
Well, the sheriff would have to round up those he can trust.
That is correct. The sheriff is the one who organizes a militia. However, that's probably not going to happen. Not many sheriff's posses have been assembled to go hunt down the wily woolly criminals.
Well, an improperly armed militia sent into action would not be very secure. It would probably be murdered.
Possibly. Lack of training. But really, it's what's at hand. Me, I have an AR-15 with several thousand rounds of ammunition. I also have I also have a Glock with several hundred rounds of S&W 40. I consider that adequate.
For 3 days.
Probably adequate enough for me to steal a backhoe and dig a foxhole at my property and stay there. I am way too old to go slogging around and hunting bad guys.
Barricade.
Exactly.
It didn't work too well for the citizens of Berlin when the Russians came in.
Well, the Russians were very well armed, organized army. And the Germans were, they were pretty much beat anyway. They were getting pounded on two sides. Americans were dropping bombs, Russians were dropping bombs, the British were dropping bombs. They were done. They didn't have much of a fight left in them. And when 1 million or so people come rolling through, well, guess what? You get rolled up.
A defensive action, if your ammunition holds out for a few days, may or may not be enough for whatever situation occurs.
Probably not. But that's why you train. That's why you train. That's why you go out and you go slow target shooting for accuracy. Do a little strength training, too, if you can. Learn how to walk again, if you can. Learn how to survive when everything else fails. Get your ham radio license.
Well, that way you can broadcast to the world as you're being overrun.
Absolutely. Or you can pass on critical information. Or you can do a lot of things, or listen for critical information. There's a lot of things you can do. You don't have to just sit there and die. You don't just have to sit there and die. And the liberals and the godless commies in this country would like you to do just that. Because you are unarmed and unable to enforce your own rights.
In the 16th and 17th century in this country, the first Militia Act was 13-year-old men had to arm themselves and be ready for Indian attacks.
Oh, absolutely. But that was just part of being in the community. At that time, it was just part of being in the community.
But it was also a government act.
Mm-hmm. But like I said, it was just part of being in the community. Community that was unwilling to defend itself was a community that ended rather quickly and violently. Now, mind you, our contemporaries on the left, that's tongue-in-cheek, by the way. Don't take me seriously when I call them contemporaries. Would like you to believe that the Second Amendment only applies to muskets.
Yeah, at the time, muskets were the most modern arms.
Exactly. So are cannons. By the way, you want to know where
you had to arm your.
You want to know
what you had.
Yeah, exactly. But do you want to know where the fledgling United States military got their cannons?
Fort Ticonderoga.
They got the majority of their cannons from private owners. People who own them because they were part of a militia. And they decided they wanted the biggest gun on they wanted the biggest bang on the battlefield.
Well, along with the cannon goes the wheels and the carriage and the caisson in order to hold the ammunition and powder.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Plus 4 horses to drag all that around.
Yeah, or mules, whichever. Or when the going got tough, the tough got going and they dragged it themselves. All right, Kenny, I got to go, man. I got to take this break.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. 855-586-9134 is the number if you want to join in the conversation. Oh, my goodness gracious me. Let's go with this one. Little Gordon Lightfoot and Sundown. KTOX Needles.
I can see her lying back in her satin dress in a room where you do what you don't confess. Sundown, you better take care if I find you've been creeping.
This portion of the Rob Hanson radio program could be brought to you by you for as little as $25 a week. For more information, email us at info@ktox1340.com. That's info@ktox1340.com. info@ktox1340.com.
KTOX.
KTOX.
The Tri-States Talk Leader.
Stuck in Bullhead City without a ride? Don't waste time. Call Taxi. We're your local experts for fast, reliable transportation around town, to the airport, or anywhere you need to go. Our friendly drivers ensure safe, comfortable rides at affordable rates, 24/7. Whether it's a quick errand or a night out, we've got you covered. Call now, 928-201-2953. That's 928-201-2953. Time Call Taxi. Because time is money, and we're always on time.
Route 66 Broadband has always provided the fastest and most reliable service in Mojave Valley, Golden Shores, Golden Valley, and Needles. Amazing speed and flexible data plans. Digital TV and phone service available too. In Needles, call 760-326-4190. In Mojave Valley, call 928-565-4190. Visit their website at route66broadband.com.
Hi, I'm Frederick Penny of Penny & Associates Injury Lawyers. I bet you're tired of hearing lawyer commercials, so just relax and listen to music for a few seconds. When you or a family member has been injured, call 800-616-4LAW or see us at pennyandassociates.com. See, that wasn't so bad.
Swantees of Bullhead City has been a permanent source for Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram vehicles since 1990. Swantees has the largest selection of new and used cars and trucks in the tri-state area. They have a knowledgeable parts department and an award-winning service department. Whether it's a Ram truck, a Jeep Wrangler, or a Dodge Charger, there's always great deals to be had at Swantees of Bullhead City at 2494 Highway 95. Stop in and see us.
Stuck in Bullhead City without a ride? Don't waste time. Call Taxi. We're your local experts for fast, reliable transportation around town, to the airport, or anywhere you need to go. Our friendly drivers ensure safe, comfortable rides at affordable rates, 24/7. Whether it's a quick errand or a night out, we've got you covered. Call now, 928-201-2953. That's 928-201-2953. Time Call Taxi, because time is money, and we're always on time.
Developers and investors, located in beautiful Needles, California. This is your opportunity. Riverlux Resort, a city-approved 15-acre mixed-use development along the Colorado River, zoned PUD and C2, ready for retail, resort, and residential growth. prime location between the river and the golf course, where lifestyle meets potential. Visit riverluxresort.com and discover the vision.
KTOX would love to do your advertising. If your organization or business needs a little help, KTOX can get your name out on the air. We have the best advertising rates in the area. Reach us by email at ktoxradio@yahoo.com or 928-296-2562. That's ktoxradio@yahoo.com or 928-296-2562.
Has anybody told you about Coast to Coast AM tonight?
Coast to Coast is one of those programs that deals with strange mysteries. We'll look at Bigfoot. We'll look at UFOs. We'll look at real science. And we'll also look at conspiracies and what it all means to you, the listeners of Coast to Coast AM.
It's the best in overnight talk radio. Coast to Coast AM.
That's Coast to Coast every night at 10 p.m. right here on KTOX.
Hi, Crystal again from High Desert Heat. Never before in history has it been more important to hang on to your Second Amendment rights. Times are changing fast. Make sure you and your family are protected. At High Desert Heat, we have all your Second Amendment needs. Weekly CCW classes as well as training or even a try before you buy. Custom Cerakoting, engraving, ladies private and group shooting classes. We are your hometown family-friendly one-stop shop. High Desert Heat, 4410 Highway 95, Fort Mojave, Arizona, 928-763-4328.
KTOX 1340 AM, standing up for truth, justice, and a decent cup of coffee.
To talk with Rob on the air, call 855-586-9134.
And welcome back. It is the Mr. Rob Hanson radio program. 855-586-9134 is the number. Let's go straight to the phone, shall we? KTOX, you are on the air. Thanks for waiting.
You're welcome. So, the Second Amendment, but first of all, did your afternoon guy, did he die or something?
No.
Was he on the air today?
No, he wasn't on the air today. He was had something other to do other than to be here, but no, he's fine.
Oh, drunk again. Darn it, man. Anyhow, let's see. Oh, so Second Amendment.
Yes.
So
are you a Second Amendment absolutist? Are you a 2A absolutist?
I'm like Kenny, abso-frickin-lutely.
Okay. Thank you for the friggin'.
Yes.
Okay.
I knew you would appreciate that, and I would.
Okay. So tell me this. I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to sound like I'm arguing against it. I'm not. But tell me, what does being a 2A absolutist mean to you?
It means that I take the hard-fought, literal, word-for-word, letter-by-letter language of the Second Amendment literally to mean what it says. Not what some communist in Congress that doesn't know how to make a cheeseburger on the grill says it means.
Yeah, I love that one of Schumer trying to putting raw cheese on a raw burger. I love it. He's
right.
Yeah. Anyway, this is what it means to me. Being a Second Amendment absolutist, every American citizen has a right to keep and bear arms. That being said,
yes.
If you are convicted of a crime and you go to jail for a while and you come out of jail and you're done with probation, you're done with everything else, I believe you should get your full constitutional rights back. That includes your right to keep and bear arms. Now,
go ahead.
There are people who, well, what about the violent criminals? You know, and you just complained about light sentencing. I said, yeah, I was complaining about light sentencing. And if you are that much of a danger to society, you shouldn't be outside the walls of a prison.
Right.
You shouldn't be on the outside of the walls. You should be there for life, or, well, you should be spending your time feeding worms. If you are that dangerous to society, society does not need you. Everybody else, enjoy your right to keep and bear arms.
Yeah, like machine guns that they illegally made.
Look, I want to see the machine gun aisle at Walmart.
Yes.
I want to be able to walk into my local Wally World and buy 40 millimeter grenades for my M203 grenade launcher that I'm attaching to the bottom of my AR-15.
Yeah, well, you might have to get those at the hardware store.
Well, it is what it is. I want to be able to go and buy rounds for my M1 Abrams.
Yeah, and I want to be able to buy armor-piercing rounds and maybe some white phosphorus rounds.
No. White phosphorus rounds. That's on the Geneva Conventions list. A banned.
You mean the Geneva over there, where the United Nations is, where they're all communists and they're trying to tell us what we can and can't do to protect their own behind?
No, that was rules of warfare, land warfare.
Yeah, okay.
White phosphorus got put on the banned list. That's okay. I can deal with that.
Okay, well, I want some depleted uranium then.
Yeah, depleted uranium works.
Yeah. So
that shoots through mountains.
Right. Yeah, I need some of that.
Exactly.
And not even joking. I mean, because first thing you got to do is, first of all, why does the Second Amendment exist? It is to fight off another set of men, usually wearing some uniforms, either of our own government or some hostile government invader.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're not fighting deer. We're fighting other men that are armed with machine guns.
That is correct.
That's why we need machine guns, because if you can only fire single shots and they can fire fully automatic fire, you don't have nearly as much of a chance as you need.
No, you're pretty well suppressed. However, tell that to Sergeant York.
What's that reference again?
Sergeant York.
Yeah, I know the name, but I'm forgetting where
he suppressed a battalion all by himself.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And what theater? What battle? What? Give me more.
I believe that was World War I.
Okay. All right.
Where they had machine guns, he had a Springfield Springfield, not lever action, but bolt action rifle.
Okay. And what was the magic of his tactics that made it able for him to do that?
He kept shooting people accurately.
Got it. Oh, wait a minute. He kept shooting people and what?
Accurately.
Oh, there. Yeah, I was gonna say. If every shot is a hit and the dude goes down, then you got a pretty good chance, or you got a way better chance than the average shooter out there who kind of.
But also he had terrain on his side and just unnaturally good luck. But it is what it is.
Right. Well, that reminds me of there was a cowboy Indian battle. And this is history. This isn't fiction. And it was at I think it was called Pawnee. Was it Pawnee Rock?
No idea.
Yeah. Anyway, there was wide open plains and then this rock formation, and these two dudes were able to get up on this rock formation and held off. Not only held off, killed 30 of the 60 Indians that were trying to get them over the course of a couple days. I'm trying to remember which tribe it was that was coming at them.
Yeah.
I don't remember if it was Pawnee or.
Well, unfortunately, you're out of time. I got to go. Thanks for your call. Do appreciate it.
Yeah.
Bye. It is the Miss Rob Hanson radio program. Thanks for sticking with me today. Thanks for all the phone calls. Thanks for the great discussion. See you tomorrow. Of course, Michael Hagwood will be in at 2 p.m. And, of course, I'll be in at 5. And we'll have more fun than the FCC allows. We'll see you tomorrow. KTOX Needles.